The standard Silicon Valley playbook operates on a predictable loop. Startups raise hundreds of millions in venture capital, give up vast percentages of their equity, and burn that cash on aggressive customer acquisition in a race to an IPO. Without actual working cash flow, that strategy creates fragile companies. As customer acquisition costs rise and initial pricing models prove unsustainable, heavily funded startups routinely collapse when they can no longer rely on the next funding round. Yet two companies reached the top of their respective industries by ignoring this cycle entirely. Mailchimp, a digital marketing platform, eventually sold for $12 billion. Hui Fong Foods, the maker of Sriracha hot sauce, built a global brand doing $150 million in annual sales. While operating in completely different sectors, both founders shared a commitment to self-sufficiency. Neither took a dollar of outside investment. Both spent virtually nothing on traditional advertising. And both reached these valuations while holding 100% of their equity. Reaching the top of a market doesn't require submitting to the venture capital machine. As these two stories show, durable wealth often comes from building a business that answers only to its customers. Operating without an investor safety net forces a strict set of priorities. When a company relies entirely on customer-funded cash flow to survive the week, the founder has no choice but to build exactly what people are willing to pay for today. In 2001, Ben Chestnut and Mark Armstrong ran a web design consultancy. They kept getting requests from clients who needed a way to send email newsletters. So they built Mailchimp as a side project, funding its development entirely with the earnings from their design business. Because they were bootstrapping the software, they didn't have a board of directors demanding complex features to impress future investors. They simply focused on an affordable, easy-to-use email tool for the small businesses already paying their bills. 2 decades earlier, David Tran faced a similar reality. A Vietnamese refugee arriving in Los Angeles, he began making his own chili sauce. He filled recycled baby food jars by hand and sold them directly to local Asian restaurants out of this blue Chevy van, generating his earliest cash flow bottle by bottle. Bootstrapping is a survival mechanism. If you cannot rely on a future funding round to cover your losses, your product must solve a real problem immediately, or the business simply ceases to exist. The major challenge of operating without investor cash is visibility. A bootstrapped company has no war chest to spend on paid acquisition, which means the product itself has to find a way to scale its own reach. This was the logic behind Mailchimp's 2009 freemium model. Small businesses sent free newsletters containing a Mailchimp logo. When recipients clicked it, they signed up for an account. This turned non-paying users into a promotional army, compounding growth exponentially without a single ad dollar spent. David Tran found an organic loop for his physical product by doing something most brands avoid. He left the name Sriracha completely untrademarked. He treated it as a generic geographic term, derived from the Thai village where the sauce originated. That decision allowed any competitor to use the name. Global chains like Subway and Applebee's created Sriracha-flavored promotions using their own massive marketing budgets. This built massive category awareness, which inevitably drove consumers back to the market leader, Hui Fong's iconic rooster bottle. These marketing engines weren't purchased. They were engineered by turning the product into its own distribution channel. Holding all your equity provides more than just a financial benefit. It insulates a company from the quarterly profit demands of outside boards and the pressure to optimize for an exit timeline. This control gave David Tran the power to ignore standard pricing logic. He capped Sriracha's retail price under $10, ensuring it remained affordable for his core audience. That decision secured lifelong brand loyalty that a board of investors likely would have sacrificed for higher margins. Ben Chestnut used his control to reject pressure to move Mailchimp upmarket. While the tech industry generally pushes software companies to abandon small businesses for enterprise clients, Chestnut was able to stay focused on the small businesses that built the company. Avoiding equity dilution protects a founder's ability to make final decisions. It guarantees they can prioritize the trust of their audience over the short-term requirements of an investor. After 2 decades of sustainable scaling, these two companies arrived at entirely different endpoints. In 2021, Intuit acquired Mailchimp for $12 billion. Because the founders had never taken outside money, the resulting payout was entirely theirs, rather than being split among a roster of venture capitalists. David Tran chose to remain independent. He routinely turns away corporate buyout offers, keeping Sriracha a privately held company because he values his love for the product more than a liquidation event. These outcomes are distinct, but they prove the same point. Pursuing hypergrowth on an investor schedule is a choice, not a requirement for global market presence. By letting customers fund your expansion, you retain the ability to set your own timeline. You build a machine that answers to you, granting the power to decide exactly what your own success looks like.